Hi, welcome to Adventures for Connection. Norma Jean's trying to put her finger in my ear. I tell you, sometimes having a co-host, I tell you. Anyways, here we are. Yes, Norma Jean, how are you tonight, smartass?
I'm doing great. How about y'all? It's good to see you, Mel.
Yeah, Mel, we're so grateful. So just so everyone knows, Mel, we've been connected for, how long has it been, Mel?
A few months.
Yeah. And Mel's been doing some work on herself. And in doing that work on herself, we were chatting about, well, if you didn't have to worry about it, like, what would you really love to do? And so we're all about this manifesting what we want, not waiting for something to happen so we feel we can do it then. And it was to help souls and working on animals. And so there was something that's come up in the last 48 hours about animals, and everybody very talking about their animals and their issues. And so when I see a theme like that, I'm like, oh, we need to speak to this. So here we are speaking to this today. Mel, do you want to just introduce yourself and your fur baby? And go ahead and tell us a little story.
Absolutely. Well, I will say that I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to Tanja and Norma Jean. They've been incredible at providing tools for the healing, right? That's what this journey is all about, and finding yourself and loving yourself. And with that, our pets play a special part of that. And this is my little girl, Fresca. She is just over 15. She turned 15 in October. She's had a tough life. She was a rescue at 7 months. She came to us and they told us that her favorite toy was a plastic milk jug with change in it. So she knew she hit the jackpot at our house, but she's had several health issues her entire life. We almost lost her 5 years ago. And she's had diabetes now for the last 4 years, which for a dog, that's a really long time to survive diabetes. But we've worked with her on her eating. We just listen to her and work with her all the time. And most of all, we have patience and give her tons of love. So she's a little antsy today. She's excited for the healing that's about to happen. And we are just incredibly grateful for this opportunity and to be here with you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, no, we're grateful for you. So otherwise I was going to make Norma Jean be the dog. Just kidding.
I told you I ain't as cute and I ain't as fluffy. Would not make a dog.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about my beliefs around this healing and my mission. I don't want everyone to be relying on me all the time to be that one when they need assistance and help. I want them to be able to help themselves, because that's the empowering part. And so that's what tonight is all about, is empowering you pet owners on how you can do this for yourself. Now, this is a small taste of it, definitely beneficial. And then those of you that are called to learn more, please do reach out. We're going to end up creating a bit of a course around this. And so you can do some more one-on-one and really get a feel for it. Now, remembering that we are all healers. And you can remember by rubbing your hands together. And I always do one of these. Yeah. Please activate me.
Please activate me.
He's like, whoa, what's going on, mommy? She's so excited. Yeah. And you have chakras on your hand. And those chakras, and as a mother, right? I put my hands on my daughter's stomach when she had a tummy ache, or people always put I have a headache, right? So it's a natural response to do that. Well, if you set the right intention, instead of claiming I have a headache, I can just, relax and get rid of this and go meditate for a bit and it'll go away. And so this can be very beneficial for kids as well. Right? And the idea is to do it when they're already a bit calm, so that it's an easier experience for everyone. That's why this time is so good at night, because they tend to be calmer. When an animal first wakes up, whether it be a cat or a dog, usually a little more active in the morning. And so by rubbing our hands together and just activating them, the first things I want you to do is just talk to your baby and put your hands and run it from head all the way down and then off the tail. So from the head, good girl. Thank you, Fresca.
Girl,
Okay, love.
good girl,
I don't understand what's going on, Mommy. There's a strange lady talking to me.
good girl. It's okay.
All the way down the body and then off the tail. And what you're doing is just, you can even have the intention of clearing energy, because dogs read frequencies and cats read frequencies as well. So they're dealing with everything energetic that we're not even aware of. And so by just doing this tip to tail, it can be very clearing. And you can do the same for yourself and for children by running over like this and just wanting to clear the energy from yourself. Oh, just clear this away. That's why showers are so good and you're running the water that way, washing your hair. You're doing a clearing on yourself. Sweetheart. She doesn't seem like she's 15, Mel.
You're okay. You're okay.
I
Yeah.
think she's a little warm.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, baby? You're a little warm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's hot. She's panting.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
It's the energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna ground her. I'm grounding everyone on this call right now, if you allow me.
There you go. There you go.
Do you have anything you want to add about this?
Well, it's one thing I come to understand that as I've gone along this and gathered so much information throughout my research and understanding us as human beings and how and what our makeup is and how we come to be formed in this physical vessel that we are traversing this beautiful realm in, that even when you hear them speak in the Bible about that, we have dominion over the animals. And as I was doing my research and coming to understand things that, in the Bible, it talks about that Adam was given the duty to name all the animals for, he had dominion over them. But when you get into a deeper understanding of this, we're not talking about atom of ADAM. We're talking about ATOM, the splitting of the atom. And to know that we have dominion over animals is because animals, just like everything else, is made up of the same substances and the same beautiful, construction of what an atom is and what it represents. So as we come to understand that our animals take on the energy that we are, which means in order for us to understand what it means, what they talk about us having dominion over animals, what that means is that we imprint upon those animals. So the animal just comes with a clean slate DNA, other than just the DNA that makes up the genetic of the cat, the dog, the cat, the dog, whatever it is that the animal is that you hold dear to your heart, that you imprint upon them. And as you do that, what they do is they become a reflection of you. There are also, of course, there's the ability that, spirits, deities, ones returning, ones who choose to come in to encase or be a part of that animal is also possible as well. So this is my understanding about our connection with the animal kingdom, so to speak, in understanding elements because they're made up of the same thing. You can also understand how to do certain meditations that when you learn how to utilize meditations with the elements, you learn how to use that because what you do is you focus on what everything is created from, and then you understand you're not separate from anything. So that's where my understanding comes in. There's still so much more information for me to take in or to come to the knowledge that resides within all our DNA. So that's my understanding.
Perfect. And I just want to say that, don't pressure her, Mel. She's good. Fresca's good.
She needed water.
I was going to say, well, it's a lot of energy happening right now. I can feel, I just had to turn the AC on a little higher because I was like, oh my. Okay. And so one way too that you can ground your animal And kids, you can talk to them, right? But as a pet, you can run your hand down their legs and just imagine them being planted into the earth per se. Yeah, no rush, Mel. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay, girl. You got this. So you can just run, right? And so it depends on, and most dogs are normally grounded, but if you're finding that and cats, good luck keeping a cat on the ground, honestly. They just fly all the time anyway, energetically. But you can do that as part of the calming, right? To clear the energy and then rub down the legs to ground. And I'm literally, yeah. I deal a lot with my mom's dog, and I've always had cats. And because I've run a painting company for so many years, I meet so many pets. And dogs will cross the street to come and say hi to me. And the owners are like, my dog never does that. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's a matter of a frequency, right? That they resonate with. And so you will always know where an animal is at by how they are reacting to you, right? And so right now, Fresca's like, Mom, I'm just hot. I don't understand what's going on. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. I just want to say hello to everyone over on Rumble. Vera, how's it going? How are you doing with your furry friend? All I see is she is right at my feet, so I don't know what type of animal that is. I'm assuming dog, because most cats don't sit at your feet. They'll sit on your lap. Yeah. And it's nice to reconnect. Thank you. Hello, Angela. Hello, CMW. Hello, Alvarmy. Nice to see you. Yes. Hello, Debrun. Uner. Thank you. Cure by Canagus. Chris, awesome. So good to see you guys. Absolutely. And Steph, thank you. Yeah. Hello from Minnesota. Beautiful. All right. So we're just going to keep moving along then. Good. So Andrea had an issue with her jaw earlier, and same thing, told her to rub her hands together. Please activate me. And I'm going to put my hands here. And even though I don't understand you, I love you. She had some issues with her jaw. So rather than asking me to send healing, which is not a tool that she can use at any time, right? So we always want to make sure. Yeah. Hello, Dolphin Dreamer. Hello, Minnesota. Hello, Jerry. Blue Rose. Hello. Hi to your dogs with you. Beautiful. My cats think they're dogs. Yeah. This is true. This is true. And so knowing where your dog's at, and we're just looking at Fresca now, and yeah, she's not understanding what's going on. Like, I don't understand why you're on my bed, Mom. I don't understand why you're like mauling me. And that's okay. So you can do as little or as much as the animal will allow. Okay. Now, Mel, you wanted to mention about the coconut. Tell us about the coconut and the ear thing. And you can let her come and go as she chooses, and we can just talk through most of this.
Yeah, I think she finally chilled out. I think she was just thirsty. We should have let her get water earlier. But, you know, she has a lot. For being 15, the older dogs tend to get those little tags everywhere. She's got a pretty good one on her ear right now. But we use this that works really well. It's coconut ozonated oil. And when you use it once or twice a day, eventually the spots go away. There's a couple of them that have already gone away. So they ooze out, but the coconut oil really helps heal them.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. And I know there's also quite a few people with pets with tumors. I'm seeing one here with cancer. Yeah, she's full of life still. Yeah, everybody. So it depends when they often do this. So I'll use the example of when they do a mammogram on a woman, and I haven't had a mammogram forever. My mom's like, you're supposed to get those. I'm like, says who? Like, I am sorry, because we all have cancerous cells within us. It's whether or not they're activated. And so they're reading on this. And you have to remember, and we all know here how much of a business this is, right? Or even when I took my cat in, for example, and he's 15, 16. Oh, he needs all his teeth cleaned. I'm like, what cat outside in the wild goes in and has a $3,000 cleaning with the vet. Like, I'm just like, it's such a money grab because it pulls at your heartstrings, right? And so I just really stand firm in my power, and that my cat was having some issues with neurological. He would just stop and kind of drop over, and then he'd come back and be like, what the hell just happened? And so I did a bunch of clearing on him and constantly sending him love and checking in, and he seems to be getting a lot better. We haven't heard from the fellow staying there, but he seems like he's good right now. And so no matter what's going on for your pet, it's also a reflection of you and where you're at, because remember, they're reading energy. And so with these lumps and bumps, you can use castor oil. You could certainly, and I am not a doctor, so take what resonates, body dose for yourself so you know. I'm just giving you some tools so that you might empower yourself to start believing and trusting you can heal anything. The body, the human body, the animal body, it knows innately what to do. We're just off our center, as Norma always says, right? And so where's our center? Our center is when we know ourselves so well. We're unconditionally in love with ourselves. Oh, yes. Unconditionally in love with ourselves. And we're never lonely because we actually enjoy our own company. Okay? You never see a dog like, well, some dogs may sit and be lonely, but if they're allowed to be outside and be themselves, a dog is never lonely. A dog is lonely if it's left at home alone, right? And stuck in the house too long. That can be lonely. So, because you're imprinted on them. Yeah, and they're active. Yeah, they need to be active. So castor oil's a really good one for some of those lumps because it will help it to go away, allegedly, what my impression is of it. Yeah, and that's true too. So CBD and THC have kept my pupper's cancer bay to enjoy her life. She eats our cannabis and also CBD tincture on her nose. You know, if that's working, so trust. The biggest thing is trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. You can also put your hand up and put your other hand somewhere on the dog. So your left hand is your receiving hand and your right hand is your giving hand. So quite often when I'm doing healing in person, we have the sound baths and the sound bowls. Somebody has something going on. I will often just go like this and put it. Please give them what they need. And for some reason, there's something about putting the hand on the heart. And so you can do this with your pet as well, especially if they're being a little hyperactive and you want to calm them down, because now you're making a heart-to-heart connection with them. And you're also allowing whatever energy wants to come in for their highest good to come through you. Is everyone following so far? Hello, Rebecca. Good to see you. Yeah. My dog loves castor oil, wants a spoonful every night. So, you know, when dogs do that, they're letting you know. Absolutely. They're letting you know what's going on. Yeah. It's okay if you're left-hand dominant. No, I'm left-hand dominant too.
So that y'all have an understanding of what your hands represent. We are electric and magnetic. Our heart is magnetic. So when Tanja speaks about center and how to draw upon these energies that we need or utilize from the elements of this existence, then what we're doing is we are taking our toroidal field and we're magnetizing, drawing in what the elements can give us to utilize in that healing process. So when you understand where you're magnetized in parts of your body and electrified in parts of your body because you're you're masculine and feminine. The electric parts of your body is the masculine, where the magnetic is the feminine. So the hands are masculine. So the bottoms and the tops of your hands, these are considered neutral. Where the electricity is in here between the fingers. Okay. And if you ever go and see a, my head just went blank. I'm sorry. If you ever go see a acupressurist, thank you.
You're welcome.
Then when they work with the energies in your hands, they're pulling both from they'll do it from the neutral before they do it from the electrical parts that run between the fingers and the hand. So when you're magnetizing and drawing the energies that are needed in healing, whether it's for self, whether it's for another, or for an animal, or whatever it may be, then it's good to understand to expand your terrestrial field to bring in as much of that energy that you're needing in order to electrify, raise the electrical impulses in your hands. That's the reason why you heat up, because your hands are electric, and they heat up because in this neutrality, then what happens is the electrical between your fingers basically, spreads. So, and then it becomes current.
Right. And so how I activate myself further, and she's right, you should be calm. Meditating is always a good idea for a few minutes before and setting your intentions. But then I'm operating from here and I'm expanding out my heart up to like 50 feet. It just goes out however far it wants to go. Sometimes it goes even further. So then the goal then is, now I'm operating from a heart space. I'm operating from love. And when you operate from that space, there's nothing you can do to harm anybody. It's not possible. You can't use this for ill will. You can't do any damage. So I just want to be really clear about that as well. And so then we're talking about, don't be sorry you're late, Robert. It's okay. We're talking about putting that hand there, right? So if I do this to Norma Jean right now, I might send her off somewhere. So we're just going to keep her here. She's traveled.
I do that on my own. Thank you.
Yeah, she travels quite a bit. So, right. And so if you remember this, so step 1 would be do a little meditation. Step 2 would be set your intention. Step 3, expand your heart. Step 4, have your pet in a calm place, right? Rub your hands together, please activate. And you could even use a photo. We were talking about this the other day. So if your pet has a tumor or something you've got an x-ray of, or a broken paw, you can utilize, or even the diabetes. I actually want to tap into that more with you, Mel, because something's coming through on that. You want to be able to visualize, if you can, what the healthy looks like, so you can focus on the healing of it, right? And so frequency music, yes, absolutely. Essential oils that are okay for pets, do be careful with them. I know you know Dolphin Dreamer, but I just want to say it for everyone, because some of them are good. Tuning forks, because they're reading frequency. My cat, both of them used to hate the singing bowl, and I just make sure I don't play it too loud while they're around. So, but definitely toning, you physically toning, you toning for them. So using your speaking the words, and then feeling as if your pet was healthy. All of these things you're doing for you to manifest an outcome that you want, you can do in combination with your pet. And so that you can be more cohesive in a different way. Because I can tell you, if you're in fear of your pet having something, you're now putting fear into that animal, right? Because it's really, 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 they're really just reading your energy. So when you're anxious, you make them anxious. When you're sad, they'll come and check on you because they're worried that you're sad. And those of you that are pet owners all know this. Can't get this one to go up. There we go. So you all know this, and it's really important. Pigeons. The vibration I get when I'm feeding my pigeons every day, when they fly and flap around me, is one of the most magical experiences. It grounds me every morning. Yeah. Yeah, they're toning. I believe the birds are actually put here for us. So when they're chirping and singing in the morning, it's like a activation for us. Because I can tell you, because of the traveling, we're very aware of what different birds we hear. And it's like, oh, is that a bird or a dog? Like there were some interesting sounds coming out yesterday.
Share
Yeah.
roll call every morning.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I would say, especially for dogs that come from rescues, being able to read when they're triggered so that you can bring some calming energy in. And that can just be two hands. And again, holding on either side of their head, maybe even over their ears. So it muffles the sound. That's what I'm being told. So it muffles the sound a bit. And it's your hands and your energy, and they're very close to you. That will bring them down. Because I know some dogs are really triggered really easily, like especially chasers, right? If there's something that they want to chase. So that's always a good way to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, as we're talking about visualization and energy and thought, when we go to understand this, talk about Joe Dispenza, okay? And he talks about just profound implications that the mind can create, especially when you have the proper visualization to go with understanding the thought that produces the feeling or the vibratory state or frequency it takes in order to have the healing properties you need or seek or need to utilize in whatever purpose or reason that you're calling this in. So I've come to find that if there's something that I need a better visualization on, then what I do is I utilize the internet to go and look at, since we're talking about animals, go and look at the anatomy of an animal. And if it's something you need to utilize in order to visualize the healing of seeing that part of the body and for that animal to be healed, to be of original form, then that will assist in the intention you're setting in your healing meditations. As you're going along in doing that, you're also understanding how to do it for self, how to do it for others, because then you're using that visualization to understand the proper original blueprint, excuse me, for animals as well as humans, or whatever it is that you may be just using that energy healing for.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Mel, can you tell me a little bit more about Fresca's diabetes and when it happened?
Yeah, so it's been just 4 years. And when she was first diagnosed, she was actually on 6 units of insulin twice a day, which is, that's a lot. And she landed in the emergency room because they overdosed her. It was just too much. And when you don't know how to check the glucose, you really depend on the vet on how many units. And they put a sensor on her. It's a Freestyle Libra. It's the same thing people can use to check the glucose, and it saved her life. And we've had it on her for ever since. And I will say that now she's down to 2 units twice a day. And you mentioned the frequency music. The frequency music made a huge change. Once we started playing frequency music at night, her needs for insulin went down. And so it's proven. I mean, I can say, because she went from 4. Once she got out of the hospital, she ended up at 4, and then she'd go down to 3. But by being able to check her glucose, we've really been able to manage. And the other thing I will say is her eating. The vets will say they have to be on a strict schedule of 12 and 12. Well, when you have an elderly dog that won't eat in the morning, you get to the point where let them eat when they eat. And when you find a naturopath vet, that will work with you, they'll be able to give you, like, Animal Essentials has so many of these wonderful tonics that we've started using with her. Tinkle tonic is my favorite. It helps with the kidneys, right? Because when you're diabetic, you've got all of these issues. And
Right.
So we've been able to implement that. But the key is they don't have to eat every 12 hours. She eats when she's hungry now. And I used to cause so much stress. Like you were saying, it was me. I was stressed because she wouldn't eat. And so I would be all upset, crying, why isn't she eating? And just fearing the worst. And what do you think I was doing to her? So when we adjusted, she now comes to eat when she's ready to eat. When she's ready to eat, she's hungry. She may eat, you know, different things every day, and you should see my kitchen. I'll have 5 different things for her, and she didn't want any of them, but I find what she wants to eat. But it's listening to her, it's loving her, and it's being patient and not angry, because sometimes you do feel like you've got a toddler, like they're not listening and you really want to take care of them. So it's just being patient, but it's been a challenge. But then we've been able to adjust her insulin to where she has pretty stable numbers.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And that is so powerful right there, because it actually goes for everyone. And here we've got Berkeley Oliver on Rumble sharing, from your teachings, Tanja, I've healed my dog Wally hearing with my hands and intention. Honestly, I was really surprised. So happy. Thank you. This is how powerful we are. We have to stand in this power, you guys. We have to accept that we can heal anything. Just like Andrea was working on her jaw. If you've got an ache or something, rub those hands together. Activate me, please. Because now you're putting some intention to it and attention. And if you got a sore neck, you can put your hands there. You can even say, even though I don't understand what's going on right now, neck, just know that I love you. And breathe love into it. Again, it's that coming from the heart space and breathing into it. And you will find it will help, whether it's a lower back, upper back, knees. Thomas was on the other night and talked about healing his knee. This is all very, very possible. And it all depends on if you believe, right?
You're the common denominator.
Right? In any case, yeah. Who's the common denominator? Yeah. Steph says labs eat all the time. Absolutely. Does anybody want some little extra help? Does anybody want to chat a little bit more? I can get into some more specifics if you give me what's going on for your dog. I can tap in a bit more. And Mel, it's fine with Fresca, don't worry. She's a dog where you want them is like nearly impossible. We're just so grateful you're here, because can you tell us more about this natural path that you're working at, this more holistic?
Yeah, they've been, again, she's on the different tonics, and someone mentioned CBD earlier. The salves that we use, I mean, obviously work with your vet. I'm not a doctor either,
Yeah.
but so there are CBD salves that can be used on their spots, and they can even be put in their mouth to calm them. Obviously I didn't use that on Fresca. What it is she's almost blind. And when she hears different things, so I think that's what caused her, because she is a very calm dog. And she's hearing the different noises. So I'm going to work with her on her hearing and her sight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And Angela says, Mel, we need to meet for lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you find this person that you're working with? Because I just want to make sure we empower people around their intuition on that as well.
Absolutely. It was a lot of research. I saw one before this one, and she wanted to do everything remotely. And we met with her one day, and she didn't even touch Fresca. And that was a huge sign right there. My intuition said, okay, I don't want you working with my dog. So I went to this one, and Angela, it's in Fort Collins. She's in Fort Collins. She's incredible. And she does it out of her home. And she was very hands-on and very personalized with Fresca, took her time with us, went through her record. She wanted to get to the root cause. And most vets just want to treat the symptom, just like the doctors that we go to, right? They throw the medications at them, and she wanted to get to the root cause. And we've got to remember that not everything heals overnight, and it does take time, but we've definitely.
She's frozen again. Yeah, that's okay. We can step onto this other one. Last time she bounced out, so let's see what happens this time. All good. And so I'm just grabbing some comments here. So Leanne says, I'm a dog groomer and come across many dogs who are unwell, especially labs. It breaks my heart. Is there anything general I can do, please? Absolutely. The biggest thing, Leanne, is basically what we've been saying, is to help just clear the dog out, get it to calm down, right? And I keep getting shown, because you're a groomer and they already know you, you can put either direction depending on where the dog is, one hand on the heart and one hand on the head, and then just let them know and speak to them. Yeah. And one of the challenging things for what I witnessed too over the years of dealing with people with their pets was that these homeowners are not aware. They just don't know. Oh, it's my dog. They just don't know any different. And so anytime one can leave a little advice in a really kind way, like a little package or some sort of notice, and maybe even in regards to this, right? People are just so busy in their lives right now. They are not able to take the time to connect with their animals as much. And so there's lots of people that are very much fur mamas and papas, right? They really love their fur babies, but there's definitely a lot that end up getting a pet and then life gets busy. And that's probably what breaks my heart the most. So because we kept working through COVID and the painting, we just worked outside and more people were home. I never met so many puppies. And I was like, oh, these poor dogs, because these homeowners are going to go back to work eventually. And who's going to suffer? My homeowner's not home anymore. I'm not getting the love I used to get, right? So it becomes that disconnect. Yeah. Do you have any advice for her, Norma? I'm a dog groomer and come across many dogs who are unwell, especially labs. It breaks my heart. Is there anything general I can do?
But, it's like, Tanya was speaking to, a lot of these owners have, are getting back into the rhythm of being out, if not more so than what was before the issue arose back in 2020, 2021. But a lot of it too is like we've said, a lot of the animals, whether it's cats, dogs, birds, it doesn't matter, they pick up on our energies. And in that, we are imprinting upon them because they are our assistants. They're our assistants in getting us through those times as well, because kind of in a level and degree, that's what they were created for. Because you see, the cat and the dog didn't come until later. There was just lions and panthers and, your mountain kit cats and dogs, they also became altered over time and became something smaller from, domestication from wolves and coyotes and things of that nature. So if you look at it, the genetics makeup of them altered enough for them to become the type of animals that they became. So they were domesticated in ways where they were utilized for so many different things. And a lot of times in the beginning, or back in the day, cats and dogs are utilized for farms. Cats and dogs are utilized to help assist on farms in, taking care of cattle and things like that. So their health was totally different then, just like as our health as human beings were totally different then. So the energies changed over time, which affects them as well. So as we are in this process, as we as a human beings in these vessels, as we change our frequencies, their frequencies will begin to change as well. But it's always good to know that, given that you're in that area or that field where you're working with animals, is not too much different when you're working with human beings. Because I was a CNA for 22 years. It's about your energy and how you are being that affects them. Even the patients that I would attend to, they would have a better day, an uplifting day, because I was uplifting in my energy as I took care of them. I spoke to them still as the human beings that they were, regardless of where they were here, because they were still, deserved that. So yeah, you're doing great. You're doing the best of, given where you're at. When you recognize it, just give it that extra love and attention and affection, and that boosts the animal until you see them again.
Yeah, and they'll look forward to seeing you, and they'll behave better for
Mhm.
you as well. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of comments coming in, and so we'll run through some of these. I think what might be really cool, Mel, for you moving into this field and helping people is compiling a list of contacts with similar, right? So the naturopath that you're seeing, maybe she's got a list of people, right? So you can start to share that with people so they have a direction to go to. That would be really beautiful if you asked that question. I'd be curious. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And thank you, Leanne, for asking. All right. So I pulled a bunch of you from all over now. So we're Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. Kate says, my son's dog, who now lives with us, does not like our cat. The cat is petrified of him. French bulldog. The cat gets on well with my two dogs. That's a good question.
He's pissed.
Oh yeah. He's pissed that he has to be sure at all. It's not just the cat. That's a big transition.
He puts off a different energy than the other two dogs.
Yeah.
And it's just, since we imprint upon them, we also imprint emotions, but they don't know what that means. They're just being whatever it is that they're feeling. And a lot of it comes down to just understanding all of it's energy. Every single thing that we experience is energy on any level, whether it's down to the animals all the way up to, trees, understanding trees. So yeah, and I got immediately, he's pissed. So the cat knows, and the cat just stays away because it picks up on that energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and cats are creatures of habit in a big way. And I don't know why our camera's fuzzy right now, guys. So it just is. We look like it's focused on my finger here instead of my face here. Come on, you can do it. There we go, a little bit better. It'll come around. Anyways, I wanted to add to that. Is there a time and space when they're both calmer? Yeah. It's kind of like expecting brothers and sisters to get along, and they don't always get along. It's similar to that, depending on what's going on through the day, what's happening for them, what's happening for your son. There's a lot of mixed energies in the house. If you want it to settle down, you could certainly look up some of the frequencies and some of the scents that are safe for animals for calming. You could certainly play around with that a little bit, and that would be beneficial for you. Oh, Andrea, beautiful. I'm studying alternative medicine and then going alternative veterinary medicine. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right. And we have my friend, she has skin problems, little bumps that look inflamed. I've been cleaning it with coconut wipes, but not helping. I'm getting castor oil right away. Yeah. And there's a difference between a coconut wipe. And can you share that jar again, Mel, of that stuff that you had? Perfect. Yeah, that looks really good. And can you read it out one more time for us?
Absolutely. It's Pure 03. It's coconut ozonated oil.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Beautiful.
And I did see someone mention that they were giving their dogs Greek yogurt. That is something that I've introduced to Fresca just recently in the last week, and it has been phenomenal. She loves it. And even with the sugar, because of the milk, it hasn't really impacted her diabetes. And so that is definitely soothing, and it has a probiotic. So I just saw that.
Perfect. And I would say those probiotics are key, right? They're even good for humans. So, and what was the other one? Something about sweet potato or yam. Is it yams? Mm-hmm. Yams are also very good. I have a girlfriend who doesn't watch this, so I'm safe. And I would tell her anyway, who feeds her dog nothing but raw dog food. But that dog has constant health issues. And so I find it really fascinating, and I don't know why, because sometimes that works. So it's a matter of getting to know your dog. What does your dog need? What does that breed need? How does it benefit? So if something's not working, use your intuition to look for something else, right? And so gratefully, she's really good about looking for alternative medicine, and that seems to cure most things, but just find it fascinating. I'm like, well, what if you added a little bit, right? What if she got some vegetables in there?
They do
Yeah.
need vegetables too, just as much as meat.
Yeah, right. Okay, one of my labs had a disc removed. Sorry guys, we're fuzzy and that's just the way it's going to be. We got 15 minutes left. I don't know how to make it fix, so I'll just try this. Hold on. Yeah, no. All right, it's just being funny. He's had a few surgeries and stoic with pain. I just activated my hands and rubbed his neck. He just did a couple of relief groans.
Oh.
So see, that's how simple it is. Now, obviously, if there's more going on, it's going to take time, and it's going to take consistency. It's going to take shifting your energy. So there's a lot of things at play here. Thank you for sharing that. Love hearing that. All right. My dog is definitely not feeling right, not eating, not really eager to go on her walk. She ate yesterday, but now today, not so much. Sometimes she'll take a little spoon of plain Greek yogurt. Yeah. Yeah. Don't force, right? Because if they're not feeling well, they're not feeling well. And then I noticed somebody else replied to you over on Rumble. Let me just grab that reply so we can talk about that. One of my dogs wouldn't eat a few weeks ago. It was his only sign of a UTI. So what do we recommend for UTIs for dogs? Will a dog drink cranberry juice? Might drink cranberry juice. What have you? She's got some.
Tonic.
Right. There we go. See, Mel's got all the answers. You were given this dog for a reason. You chose this dog for this purpose. Yes. You know that.
Well, yeah. I will say before Fresca, we had two others. We've lost two in the last 4 years, and one was 16, one was 15. So I will say the one thing that changed the longevity of our dogs, because we lost our first two at 10, is not using any chemicals in our yard. We are totally organic. We don't even fertilize the grass, and we feed the birds, and everything's natural. Once we made that change in our life, it really helped the dog's life as well.
Right? Because it's whatever they're picking up in their environment. Absolutely.
Same thing goes for water with them as it does for us. If it's not clean water, are you changing their water bowls often? It depends on if, of course, most of the time for individuals who have animals in their homes, it's a continuation. But if we're talking about dogs that go out and they stay out, or they're in and out and things like that, they're going to come across things that, given, what's being put in the water and things like that is going to affect them. And then, of course, on top of that, make sure they have plenty of water.
Yeah. And absolutely. And I'm going to come back. So Berkeley's saying, I have used apple cider vinegar in my dog's water when she's had a cyst, I'm assuming, on her paw. It was gone in a week. Yeah. With the pug dance. Oh, the pug dance is it's over on Rumble. Doesn't show up here. Perfect. And then just over on the Rumble chat, I just want to direct to something. My little dog would take CBD oil for pain. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says my dog got super screwed up on raw food, swollen paws, etc. And then Byra says my dog was raised on raw and has continued on raw with no issues for 5 healthy years. Yeah. Remember, we're not all the same. Mm-hmm. And so just like the animals, it's like these fellows, there's so many people right now that are really into the carnivore diet. It's all they're eating. I couldn't eat that way. It's not what my body craves. I mean, I could survive maybe, probably even thrive maybe, but it's not what my body craves. So it's really important to make sure that we adjust to what we crave, and body dose food, right? You could do it for your dog as well. If a tincture is the right tincture for them, you could body dose for them because they're that connected to you. Do you want to add anything to that, Mel?
No, I totally agree. And the raw food, I will just say, when Fresca was diagnosed with diabetes, they insisted that we do the raw food, and she could not tolerate it. And I still hear it today. Are you feeding her raw food? It's just to your point, she doesn't tolerate it. So you just have to find. And like I said, it's patience, because I could have 5 different things. I'll make her ground beef and she'll put her nose up at it, where I may make her turkey and she'll eat it. But you just got to work with them and love them and be patient, because it can be hard some days.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They've done a study where dogs can sense everything in the food that they are eating, all the way down to the onions, to the lettuce, to the tomato, the cheese. They can decipher every smell before they eat. Say, like that hamburger that you feed them. They know every smell because they have such great olfactors in their sinuses, in the way that they utilize their scent to pick up on trails of animals or whatever it may be. They have extra sensories in their smelling abilities, just like their hearing. The cats and the dogs, their hearing and their sight and their senses are so much more heightened than ours is, to a level and degree, because they utilize those for their instincts to guide them to, if they need food, if they need water, or whatever it may be for the modality that they are seeking. So
Beautiful. There she goes up again. Yeah, right? Who knows what's going on with all these? Robert was just saying that Rumble's acting up and not performing properly either. So it just is what it is. Yeah. And Bonnie, if you can read that, may I tap into your dog? Nose is moist, but she is trembling, and she's not eating, didn't want to go out. So something's up for her. It's a tech night tonight. It just is. My shepherd can smell the Amazon driver coming from the next street over. And he can hear the specific sound of that car. Yeah, they are extremely smart. Extremely smart. Yeah. Okay. All right. This morning she did not pop out of her bed, all happy self, went to work, and she was still frumpy and not eating. Yeah. So something's going on. Lots of fluids. Absolutely. We're talking about animals, Becky. We're talking about how you can activate your hands and work on your pets, right? So you can rub your hands together, put them out and say, activate me, please. And Bonnie, if you can do this right now, I'll work with you on it. And realizing that you have chakras on your hands, you're an electromagnetic being, and that we can clear our dog by rubbing them from head to tail. We can ground them by rubbing their legs. We can calm them down by putting hands over the ears, or even on their head, or on their heart and their back. So Bonnie, can you do that for me, please? Can you put your right or left, it doesn't matter, on the heart of your dog? And then I'm going to enhance it. Something you'd like to add? Will I do this? You're with her now. Okay. So Mel, do you want to work with me on this? How about everybody rub your hands together, and we're going to all help Bonnie's dog. And Bonnie's dog is not feeling well. And what I want you to do is set the intention and see if we can figure out what's going on for the dog by just tapping in. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Dogs will always take or not take what's not good for them. So just if the dog doesn't want to take the petty light, don't worry about it. It's okay. You could give a little apple cider vinegar. And yeah, that's a good point, Robert. I wonder how this higher vibration is affecting our fur babies. That's a very good point. Thank you. Yes, she loves it. Yeah. Is there something she could have gotten into? Did you hear what Mel was just saying about outside? And I don't know where you live, Bonnie. And then make sure when you're giving this video a thumbs up and sharing it out. We really appreciate it. And please comment after the video as well. It helps with the algorithm. Yeah. Her belly is growling. That's normal. That's normal when all this energy is coming towards her. Yeah, it's okay. Just tell her it's okay. We got you. So maybe you could, yeah, it's okay, love. You can cry. You can have a release. Yeah, that's okay. Remember, she's also picking up on you and wondering what's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course you love her. So yeah, you're doing great, Bonnie.
Everything's okay. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking up that anything is serious. I think Robert's right. It's partially just the energies. Have you got any new cleaners, candles, anything like that happening in the house? Yeah. So if you'd like to learn more, you guys feel free to reach out. We're going to be working on a course, and it's going to encompass animals, kids, just more of this healing and more of things to do. You have a fenced-in yard. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'd wait until tomorrow morning, love, and as much as you can to keep putting your hands on her, keep sending her love. You've got this. She's good. Dogs will innately not eat if they're not feeling great. They're letting their body. Remember, we always say that 72 hours of fasting is a good way to reset your gut and your system. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to pretend. But you could say, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that not eating is a good thing if they're not feeling well. Just make sure that they're drinking water. And if they're not drinking water on their own, if you happen to have a syringe at home, any dog will take water through a syringe. So you could just fill it up with water and put it in their mouth. And that way you're just making sure that it's staying hydrated. And if you have some broth, I've got a recommendation for a great organic grass-fed broth. It has nothing else in it. It's just bone broth. You can mix that up. Be careful with broths because the broth that we drink might have something in it that they could react to. But if you find a bland broth, that's something good to feed them as well. It gives them some nutrition and hydration. Just throwing that in.
Beautiful. Look at you, Melon. You're so good at this game. I love it. Yeah. And have such a natural, calm demeanor. So, Bonnie, we're all sending you love. Thank you for sharing and letting us know that it's nothing new in the house. Yeah. Yeah, she's fasting. That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. As long as you can get some water in her. And I wouldn't even stress about that. But as Mel was just saying, try with a syringe, or if she's got something favorite. The trembling. So remember I was saying earlier how dogs shake to move energy? She's shifting something out. So as Robert was just saying, it could just have to do with the current energies. I can tell you we're feeling it more. We're having to adjust and ground more. Yeah. Yeah. And Dolphin Dreamer says, sending so much love, Bonnie. My dog reacts whenever the energy shifts. I feel it, but he feels it huge and always lets me know. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. All right, try the syringe. And do let us know in the group chat later how it's going, okay? Yeah. Magpies have been dropping things here, little chicken bones. I found a whole wishbone in the backyard. Thought it was my neighbors. I even went around and told them to stop their friends throwing stuff over the fence. It's 6 feet, so then I had to go back around. My little dogs are tiny Yorkies. Good for you for noticing, Becky. It's being observant and aware of your surroundings. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good to know bland broth. Yeah. Yeah. Try the syringe. Okay. We're sending you lots of love. All right, everybody. So remember, if you want, there's special videos that go out for everyone on our email list. And that is over on adventuresforconnection.com. And you all know how to find me in my link tree. So if you can't go back to the video, it's there. The link tree is posted there. And what I would really, really, really love is if when we'll get Mel back on when she's a little more set up and yeah, and can get you organized on a social group. That would be really beautiful. Yeah, I would love that. So you have a very calm demeanor, and I can tell you're really good with the animals and with people.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mel's been working really hard on getting to know herself and loving herself more, and it's been really beautiful to watch. So I just want to say how grateful I am for you being you and joining us here today.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I love you both. Such
Yeah.
honor.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I give my dogs ginger spice when tummy upset. There you go. You got lots of tips. Right?
I love it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love the ginger chews you can get. And I think when we was in Greece, we were Elise was getting ginger chews, and it was like, "Do you have another one of those?"
Oh yeah,
because they're like really good. So yeah, ginger is good.
Now they
Yes.
do have a pumpkin. It's a little pack, and I forget the maker of it, but they've got pumpkin with ginger in it that you can get at the pet store. I'll look up the name and post it on the chat. But yeah, you can do that in syringe too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
See? Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys, we love you all. We're gonna pop off now. Thank you for being patient with the issues we were having with the cameras and the internet connection. And sometimes that's just life. Must be all the energy. All right, we're sending you lots of love. Have a beautiful, beautiful night.